All right, Sehaj. All right. So, okay, I am unmuted myself, I'm guessing. So, Sehaj, what we were basically doing was, you know, if it makes sense to you till here, that we started with very basic. Let me just rewind what we did quickly, and then we will proceed further with the thing quickly. All right. So, again, what we were discussing about linear equations. Yeah. Give me a second. So, coming back over here, Miss Sehaj. We started with linear equation, as you know. Linear equation is what? It is the highest power of a variable, where the highest power of the variable is always 1. Again, the revision is quick important because we are about to do the questions. And then we started with that it is also known as 1 degree equation. Why 1 degree? Because linear stands for 1 only. When we talk about linear, it means we are talking about the 1 degree actually, which is the highest power. Standard form for 1 degree is basically ax plus b equals to 0, because in one variable it is for one variable. When I'm talking about ax plus b equals to 0, that is for standard form for one variable, which is where a is coefficient, x is variable, and b is constant. Second thing, we talked about standard form of linear equation in two variables again, which is very simple again, ax plus by equals to c. Why it is two variable? Because x and y are two variables there. You have coefficient, you have constant term, and you have variables again. The next thing is that understanding about a linear equation is that which has the highest degree of 1, which we already studied. The graph of the linear equation, if I talk about, is it always form a straight line, and which I will show you actually, that whenever you talk about the graph of a linear equation, Miss Sehaj, let's say for example this is the graph. So whenever you're making the graph, whether it is on the four quadrants you're using, but it is always coming out to be a linear equation like this mostly, right? When you plot the points, you will see, you will realize that it is coming out to be like that. So that's why the graph of a linear equation is always a forms a straight line. That's what they mentioned. Now there are some equations we figured it out why this is linear, non-linear. The degree with which has the highest degree 1, that is linear, which does not, that is non-linear. Then we started with the equation formulas, where standard form, slope intercept form, and point slope form, these are the three forms are there. Standard form we just discussed, which is in two variables, ax plus by equals to c. We saw that. In case of slope intercept form, we studied about this slope intercept form, which is y is equals to mx plus b, like we are talking about this one now. Yeah, which is y is equals to mx plus b, where m is actually the slope here, and b is also called y-intercept. In some books it is c, in some books it is b. That depends on you which you want to take. Again, if we talk about the point slope form, which is another form of finding out the slope, it is y is equals to y minus y1 equals to mx minus x1. So m is the slope here, and the other x1 and x2 are basically the points on the line basically that you have on the graph, you can say. So when you have to find out the slope, now the real things came over here, Miss Sehaj, that whenever you have to find out the slope of the linear equation, right, as you have seen, uh, what is slope? First of all, it is the amount by which the line is rising or falling, and that's why we use this formula called rise over run. Okay, it is calculated by this formula. So slope is equals to rise over run. So in case if we have x1 y1 and x2 and y2, 2 points, there are 2 points on a line, and its slope is calculated using this formula, which is actually uh okay, this is a line I have made by mistake, I'm guessing, like this one. So it is what again, y minus y1 here, and you can divide it by x2 minus x1. All right. So rise over run is equals to this, which I have written here. All right. That's how you can find out. Now we will definitely do questions also on this page. But before we do the questions, let's study about other things. This is the basic of linear equation that you should be knowing about. Now proceeding further, linear equation in standard form, which I have already told you. I will not repeat ax plus by equals to c, where you know the things. But how the linear equation in graph works like, let's understand that first and quickly make a graph over here and understand the things. So linear equation in one variable, when you are making a graph, let's say we have to plot a graph for x minus 2y equals to 2. Okay, this is the graph we are making. Let's plot a linear equation graph here, where we will follow some methods, some steps basically. So what are those steps and methods you can follow, Sehaj? The first step is that you have to see what is the equation given to you, and then you have to convert that equation in the form of y is equals to mx plus b. What I said, convert the equation into the form of y is equals to mx plus B. That's first thing you will do. Now, second thing is that you should do, again, if I'll convert this equation into this form, which is given, it will come out to be my equation. This would be, in turns out to be, I'm guessing y is equals to x by 2 minus 1. Am I right, CH? Yeah. How I did it, can you, I mean, if it like you understood it, or should I tell you how I got y is equals to x by 2 minus
You
1?
divide 5 by 2.
I divided. Are you feeling sleepy or thing?
No,
Okay, okay. Why are you rubbing your eyes?
I don't know.
So yeah, you will basically convert the equation in the form y is equals to x by 2 minus 1. That's one thing you'll do. Then second thing is, say you what you do is here, like here you will try to, we can replace the value of x for different numbers and get the resulting value for y, which is what we actually do and plot the graph basically when we get the coordinates. So let's say if I have a table, okay, let's say this is your table. I'll try to put up a different values here. So let's say we have this as x values, these are as y values. Okay. If I make this value as x and y, if I have x as 0, say h, what would be the value of y in that case in this equation basically? So it would be 0 by 2 minus 1, that give me my y as minus 1. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, am I right? It's pretty simple, right? If I'll put up the same equation, I put up the value of x as maybe like you keep on putting up, let's say we substitute the value of x as 4, we get what is the value of y in that case? Let's say 4. 4 by 2 is 2 minus 1. Again, 1 will be the value. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty simple, I guess. You might have understood it very easily. Similarly, you can put up, actually, you start with, because it would be too much. So you can, if you put up 2, let's say, because that will make us the graph build up properly. So 2, you can put up, in case of 2, it would be 0. In case of 4, in the equation, same equation, you will get 1. And in case of minus 2, you put up, you will get minus 2. Again, these numbers of x and y that I'm putting, they are just random numbers. They are like 0, 1, 2, 0, 2, 4, minus 2. I have put it up. You can also use any other number also, Sehaj, if you want to. And finally, when you have these coordinates, by the way, in the third step, you can make the coordinates such as for x. If I write down x and y coordinates like this, you will be having 0, minus 1, first coordinate, second 2, comma 0, third 4, comma 1, and fourth minus 2, minus 2. All right, Miss Sehaj, is it clear to you? Yeah.
Yes.
Now, if I'll make a graph here, okay, how will a graph look like actually on this? So for making a graph, I just need to do very simple thing. This is your the y-axis and this is your x-axis. This is positive x-axis, this is negative. This is your positive y-axis and this is your negative y-axis. Okay, here I will just draw 1. This is my 2, this is my 3, this is my 4, this is my 5. This is my minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. This is again minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, and minus 4. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4. You can draw these graphs here. And what are the points that they want us to mark? They first said 0, comma minus 1, where x is 0 and y is minus 1. So if you see that point, x is 0 and y is minus 1 is somewhere here on this point. I'll mark it with a red color pen so that it is more visible to you. This is the point here. Okay. Which is where x is this and this. Then 2, comma 0, 2, comma 0, where y is 0 and x is 2 here. Then 4, comma 1, where x is 4, y is 1. So here it is somewhere. Okay. And then what is the next point? Minus 2, comma minus 2. In that case, that would be somewhere minus 2 and minus 2 would be somewhere here. Now, if you see this line, Sehaj, it is actually coming out to be straight line. I'll try to maybe build a line for sure here. Hopefully. Again, the graph that I'm making is definitely not proper, but you see the line will come out something like this. Okay. Like the straight line basically. So you have this like that. It's basically the straight line, though it doesn't look like a straight line though here, because obviously I'm doing it from the hands. So 1 second, I'll just mention, like, just manage some of the points properly. So let's say this is the point here. So from here to here, and this point should be actually here, this here. So from here to here, and from here to here. So this is a straight line, and this straight line name is, what is the name of this straight line? It is actually x minus 2y is equals to 2 that we have to draw for. Makes sense to you, Sehaj?
Yeah.
Pretty simple, right? Pretty simple. Yeah.
Mhm.
Now linear equation is done by this way. You can always draw this type of graph and you can actually do the questions. Before I get into the word problems, and solve the equations and stuff, I would recommend you, I mean, I would like to know in case you are doing something else also in your school. Like what are the other questions you were doing? Like you were solving the, equations questions or something else also.
We were like,
Hmm.
um, he would like give us like 2 points and we had to do like rise or run. Usually it's like he's still doing grade 9 review
Hmm.
and he's like maybe starting the topic tomorrow. So
Hmm.
he like gave us like, a brief like lesson at like 10 minutes end of class and he was just like saying, oh, we have to find slope and then we have to find like B. It was like this whole process he was telling us we
Yeah.
are need to learn.
Yeah. I totally get it what you are saying basically. Totally understandable what you are mentioning. So in linear equation, I just introduce you with there are four things in linear equation, Miss Sehaj. Again, I repeat that. Listen to me very carefully, please, so that you can understand what I'm mentioning over. All right, let me just show you over here. Okay, till here I'm guessing everything is clear. I think I'll just give you an idea of this what we have to study and what we have done today. For now, it's till we are left with a lot of time, so we can cover up things. So we have the first thing, which is introduction to it. So we have just done introduction and general form. Okay, in linear equation, the first thing is introduction and general form. Okay, the second thing is about graphing method, which I just told you. I just showed you the graphing method basically, which was very interesting. The third method is actually called substitution method. Okay, where we are basically applying substitution method and solving the thing.
Oh, and we have to know how to make something like he gives us equation and we have to make it like a perpendicular line to that equation and a parallel line. So we have to learn how to do that with
Yes,
the
yes, we will
equations.
do that also. And then we have word problems. All right, these are the few things you have to study in your grade. Okay, in this linear equation you have to do these things. Okay, now coming back to the topic of what you mentioned to me as well, where about parallel and perpendicular lines, we get into those things. We will practice firstly these questions on these different types of forms, and then I will be coming over on the things that you are mentioning about to me. All right.
Okay.
Makes sense. I hope so to you. So we have discussed like three types of form already, so you know about them. Now let's understand about like how these other things really work in linear equation, which is algebra. This comes into the chapter algebra. Again, general form and everything has been done. So now let's say, Miss Sehaj, we are talking about some other things which are there. So let's say now, if we have, let's say, rise over run, obviously we are doing the slope is equals to rise over run, right? We just did that. The slope is equals to rise over run. Let's say if you have a linear equation that is rising, okay? So it has a rising slope. So rising slope would be like this, okay? This is a rising slope. And it is going to be positive, obviously, because it is rising. And let's say you have 2 points on that, on this line specifically. One point is, let's say here, this is one point, and then there is another point which is actually here. These are the 2 points that you have. Now to go from the first point to the second point, what you have to do, you have to do like you will go up a bit and then you will move towards this direction to actually go from one point to another point. This is one point and this is the second point you have to do that, right? And that is what basically rise over run work like. You go up and you go like, now it depends how many units you are working going on in the graph. Let's say in this, let's say it would be maybe plus 3 units, and then moving towards the right, it would be some more units. Basically you can count the units in the graph and you can tell, maybe let's say in this we will take plus 4 units, it is moving towards the right. Okay, so if I have to make out like what is rise over run and stuff, so I will write down. So basically rise is 3 in this case and run is actually 4. Okay, so my answer would be 3 over 4 in that case. Okay, so that's how we actually find out the slope. This is how you find out the slope going, uh, how it is moving. Then there are chances that you are going downwards also, like the graph is moving towards the other side of the equation also, Miss Sehaj, like for example this, right? And again there are 2 points over here and here, and you have to move from one point to another point. In that case, what will happen, you will move from this direction, like you go down and then you go some units to the other side, again the right hand side, Mr. Haj. In that case, again, you need to see what is your rise over run. In that case, again, it is -3 in this case, and if you move towards the negative to the right hand side, again it would be positive, maybe whatever value you want to take, maybe let's say this time take 5. Okay, now if you want to find out the slope of this specific part, again this is the slope of this, but if you want to find out the slope of this part, it would be again rise over run. So negative, it is -3 over 5, which is basically the slope for this one, for slope for this specific lines here. So please make sure you remember that. I hope so that makes sense to you. Pretty simple and straightforward. Yeah, make sense or no?
Yeah, it does.
All right, let's proceed. Let's calculate with the some of the slopes with the rise over run method. Let's say we have, say, this line over here. Now, whenever a line it goes up around 45 degrees angle, let's say this is your 45-degree angle. Okay, mostly these are the 45-degree angle. The slope at that line is going to be 1. Let's say m is equals to 1. And this is important to tell you that actually you can skip this part also, because I think this will, for now I will explain you this later on, because that defining and undefining things you might not understand right now. But let's say we have the slope, okay, as not given. Let's say we have another point as p x1 y1, and you have another point p x2 y2. Okay, these are the 2 points given, and m is, again, what is m in this case? Y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Why is that so, Miss Sehaj? Because the points are given in terms of x and y already to you. Now in that case, slope is, let's say if you have the point p1 as x1 is 2 comma 5, and p2 is, let's say this is 5 comma, maybe any number you can take though here. Let's say maybe 16, 13, 12, whatever you feel like. Now in the slope, you will write down y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1 to figure out the slope. Pretty simple and straightforward again, Sehaj. Am I right? Is it boring lecture or knowledgeable for you, learning experience?
No, I know it.
Quite boring. I can see that. Well, this is just to explain you things because I'm speaking too much, and I try to get the things done with you, like so you understand and things. So I'll give you a chance to elaborate it to your version of thing, but I'll go slow, and I'll send you things over obviously on the thing, and we will continue so that you will never forget this chapter. You can always look whether you study with us or not, like for the next few classes or whatever it is. But what I'm saying is, whenever you see these notes, if the chapter got completed, you will always be able to find these notes helpful, because I'm going to be covering everything that is required here, even with questions, with graphing, with things that you need. So you can always look at them and like study them. So this would be what we have taken: 12 minus 2, sorry, 12 minus 5 is your y, and then you have x, which is 5 minus 2, I guess. Yeah, that is what a thing. So 12 minus thing, if you will do, what would be your slope? I mean, can you calculate this quickly, Sage, please?
Yeah.
So that is
Let
12.
me see.
Huh?
What was the thing?
It is 12 minus 5 over 5 minus 2. What do we get for it?
Oh, it would be 7 and then 3.
All right, that would be your slope. All right, Sage. That's how you have to basically find out slope. Now you need to understand about x-intercept and y-intercept. Okay. What do you think if I will say that, something about x and y-intercept, Sage?
Well, y-intercept is term 0,
Hmm.
and then x-intercept is the other one.
All right, makes sense. So basically, let's talk about x-intercept here and y-intercept. Let's say with this pen, x-intercept. The first thing is x-intercept is what, and then second thing is y-intercept is what. You might have heard about these terms a lot. Am I right? Maybe. Yes or no?
Yes.
X-intercept and y-intercept are very common things actually. The answer to this question is x-intercept are basically is a point on specifically on a graph, or where uh, it's a point where your specific point where your y-intercept or y is equals to 0, basically y coordinate is 0. Like for example 4 comma 0, 5 comma 0. all of that here, you see this one is basically y coordinate and this is your x coordinate. Okay, so in this if you see, the y becomes 0, your x is like positive, I mean 4, but your y is 0. That's why it's called x intercept. Similarly, like for example, the point minus 5 comma 0, right? So the x intercept in this case will be minus 5, but y is obviously 0 here. Then you can have multiple examples like this, and y, like same thing with goes with y-intercept is the point where your x-intercept is 0. So it can be like y would be like, let's say, maybe you can mention a point P and you can mark it as 0 comma 4 or 0 comma 3, whatever you wish. Y would be equals to 3 in that case. That's your y-intercept. Okay, and you can have multiple examples like this here. So that's one thing you can remember. Now whenever you are finding, by the way, you can also call this name as 3b with b. I told you in the formula, you remember? Sometimes you call it as b also. Yes or no?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. So you can just say that P is 0 comma minus 3 here, and your B intercept is minus 3 here. Okay, I think that's totally clear to you now. Let's proceed with the thing, with the next thing, Sehaj. So what is the next topic in this specific thing in this chapter? Understanding about, let's say we have 3 points given to you, P 2 comma minus 2 comma 5, P minus 3 comma 0, let's say. Okay, you have P 1 comma 2 and we have P 0 comma 6. All right, these are the points. Now if you have this point here, it is what here, y is equals to 0, right? In this, if you have to tell what is your which one is your x intercept, you can see that their y is 0, so x intercept would be equals to minus 3. Sehaj, pretty simple, right? If you have to choose in these 4 points, you can easily choose it like that, right? And you can know that, okay, this is the point where I think it is pretty simple for you to understand. I know the first class is basic, so you understand it very easily. But when you do substitution, elimination, that is where you have to learn things, where you are solving simultaneous equations together, finding for x and y, and graphing more and stuff like that. Sage, any doubts?
Nope.
All right. Then we have parallel lines. Now I'm coming on your topic. So now it's better to discuss about parallel lines and perpendicular lines. So parallel lines, perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines. Okay. Now, how do their slopes relate to each other, like parallel lines and perpendicular lines? When we talk about how do their slope relate to each other, what are the things here? Let's say parallel lines are, they travel in the same direction, right? That's why let's call them as L1, L2 usually. And the slope is basically, let's say m is equals to, given to you as 2, and for this m is equals to uh, if, let's say, if the slope of line 1 as they have given you, I have wrote it down, slope is equals to 2, then the slope 2, which is m2, this is slope m1, this is slope m2, which is equals to, let's say, maybe what value can I just, let's say, take 2 also.
Both are made the same, just the y-intercept's just different.
Yes, exactly. That's what I mentioned. Now, in the parallel lines, the slope is same here. And, as the slopes are same in parallel lines, when we talk about, the linear equation, you have to also see like what are the equations of, or what we write down when we're talking about the parallel lines, that you I just mentioned here. So they are going to be equal, where in parallel lines, the slope m1, m2 is going to equal. That is the one thing that you can describe the relationship between the parallel line using the symbol that L1 double symbol L2, you can write down like this. Okay, this is like shows that they are parallel. This is how we show in mathematics, or in this chapter especially. If we talk about again, so for linear equation, if you have at least like we need to know is that what is the parallel lines, how they work, how the slopes are equal and stuff. If you talk about perpendicular lines, perpendicular line is like, let's say we draw L1 here. Okay, this is your L1, and perpendicular line will go like something like this, basically perpendicular to the thing. So you draw this. So this is L2, this is L1. Now in this L1 and L2, they intersect at right angles, right? So you can mention this as right angles here. This is 90 degrees basically. Now the slope of the perpendicular line is basically the negative reciprocal of the original line. For example, the slope of this would be m1 is equals to, you can mention this as I mentioned to you, 3 over 4, let's say. Okay, now I'm taking the slope as 3 over 4 here as previously taken. So this is plus, but if we talk about, this is m1, if we talk about m2, it would be negative reciprocal of it. negative reciprocal of L2. So that is for perpendicular lines. For this, M1 would be equals to, I would say, minus M over M2. That's the formula. Okay. That's for perpendicular lines. So we could say that how will we write it down this part? L1 is perpendicular to L2 in that case. So you can see these two lines meet at right angles. So that's how you can describe the perpendicular lines when you're doing in linear equation and their slopes actually, Miss Sehaj. I hope so it is clear to you.
Yes.
Any doubt you have?
No.
Let's work out on some problems of parallel and perpendicular lines. Let's say, Sehaj, we have a line over here. Let's say we can just mention the line as L1 parallel to L2. Okay, let me just scroll down, please, for you. And then the slope has been given to you. Some problems here. The slope is given to you M1 as minus 3 and M2 as, let's say, yeah, there you have to find out M2. So because you have to find out M2 in here, how would you find out M2 here? Can you tell me?
By M1.
Yeah, exactly. Because, yeah, because of the reason, yeah. So because of the reason that in case of parallel lines, Miss Sehaj, the lines are basically parallel. So your M1 is equals to minus 3 and M2, you don't have it. I think I was too much into the session today, and I have asked you less question because it was too basic also, if I would be asking you questions and stuff. So yeah, we covered up that. Let's finish this some of the parts over and then let's proceed with the next few other things. All right, Sehaj?
Okay.
All right. So now in case of this, if you talk about L1 and L2, if I talk about, because L1 and L2 is perpendicular, if I talk about the slope of M1 given to you minus 4 over, let's say, minus 4 over 8, that's fine. What would be your M2 in that case, Sehaj?
Wouldn't it be 8/4? And then if it's the reciprocal but it's already negative, would it become a positive?
Yes,
Or would it
exactly.
remain?
Yes, so M2 would be equals to negative 1 over M1. That would be positive 8 over 4. Make sense to you, Sehaj?
Yes.
That's pretty simple, I'm guessing. So I don't think so you didn't need help in that. So let's understand about the slope-intercept form now. Slope-intercept form comes over when, I'll just be very quick, y is equals to 2x minus 4. Okay. Again, if you draw the graph here, Sage, let's say this is your graph coming over here. This is your graph. Now in this graph, you will mention this is your points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 at least. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here as well, Sage. Okay. And then obviously on this portion also. All right. You can mark the values here. First of all, if you are, because you are mentioning the slope intercept form, you can mark their values here. And again, so the first thing we need to identify here is the slope. And the y-intercept for this is, let's say y is equals to, the formula is mx plus b. So if you see the y-intercept in this CH, it is basically equals to your b, which is actually minus 4. So the first thing that you will mark in here is, and your slope is 2. So y-intercept is 4 minus 4 and your slope is 2. The first thing that you will mark in the point as is y-intercept here, because your b is negative 4 given to you. So you mark the negative 4 here, which is actually here. So this is negative 4. Okay. Now what you will do next is you will go, uh, because m is like rise over run. So you basically put up m as 2 over 1, right? Because it is rise over run. It is given to you that. So basically you go rise 2 and then you run 1. So how will you go for this, Sehaj? How will you make a graph here? You will go rise 2, you go over and 1 here. So that's your second point here. Then you go rise, run, then here this is your point. Then you go rise, you run, point. Rise, you run, then this is the point. So this is how you say it. You put up the points basically. When you have the point, you can match the line here, which is super simple by matching them like, obviously straight line it will come. So make it properly and you are good to go basically. That's how you have to make the line and stuff. So let's say the line will be coming out like something like this, passing by straight through the axis. Actually from here it will be maybe. from the two side. Okay, it would be better if you draw a straight line. It doesn't come out and look like a straight line I've drawn, but again, I'm doing on a digital board, so maybe whenever you're drawing on normal pencil pen scale, you can draw it. I hope so. Makes sense to you, Sehaj, or no?
Yes.
Very simple, right? Straightforward question, nothing difficult to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you are honest, then try to do this question which I'm drawing and check your answer is correct or not. Okay. Y is equals to minus 3 over 4x plus 5. This is a very common question in books, so you can just take this. Come on, do it by yourself. Hmm?
Am I supposed to graph it?
Yes, who will graph it then? I. So what is, tell me what is the slope here?
Our slope is minus 3/4.
Exactly. What
And
is B?
this 5.
We mark the y-intercept first as 5, which is basically here. Okay. Now, after marking, we have to go rise over run. So rise over run. So according to rise, we have to go. Oh, this is the downward sloping because we have minus 3 Miss Sehaj. If you see over here, right? In the quotient, if you see the slope will be downwards basically. So how will you go for? Actually, it is y-axis. Sorry, I marked the wrong. It is positive y-axis. So I marked by mistake this part here, please. So one sorry for that reason. So the point would be somewhere here, 5. This is rise over run. I didn't so that it is positive y. So yeah, you just mark the point here. So you go like how much? 3 units down and 4 units towards the left. So 3, 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Like that, Sehaj. You go like that and you mark the point here. Okay. And again, you can draw the line properly, like draw a proper line here, like that. You can remove this one if you want to. That's your line. Makes sense to you, Sehaj? Pretty simple, I'm guessing, right? Hmm?
Yes, understand.
I hope so. So this is how you basically do the graphing. Let me just go for the next question. Let's say you have 3x minus 2, 3x minus 2y equals to 6. Okay. Now this is given to you in standard form, which is ax plus by equals to c, Sehaj. Now in that case, how will you draw the thing? Is equals to c. So you have again the graph here. All right. In this graph, you can again put up the y-intercept. Firstly, figure out what is your y-intercept and all. So according to the equation, if you put up y as 0, because you have to find out the x-intercept or something. So in that case, 3x plus minus it was, so 2, 0, put up that, and then it would be 6 equals to. So you get the final answer as 3x minus 0, it would be equals to 6. You divide it by 3, it would be 2. So you get x as 2. So basically the coordinate is 2 comma 0. That's the first thing, right? You don't need to do this, but you need to find out the y-intercept to mark the to do the graphing. So y-intercept is this now, where your x-intercept becomes 0 basically. So make the x-intercept and y-intercept figure both out. If you find out x-intercept like y-intercept now, what you will do, you will put up x0. So you will do 3, 0 minus 2 times y is equals to 6. You will find out the x-intercept like that. Okay. So it would be simple. You will just like do minus 2y equals to 6. The y would be equals to minus 3. Now, when you have your x and y intercept both, this is your x intercept, this is your y intercept, mark the points and plot the graph. Yeah.
Yes.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mark the points, Sehaj. So it would be somewhere, it says minus 3 was here and plus 2 was here. Okay. X and y intercept. Draw the line passing through them like that. This is one of the example that you have to do. Is it clear, Sehaj?
Yes.
I hope so. I made your things counted and you have understood this properly. Yes or no? There are a lot of things remaining. The question practice is definitely remaining and all, so we can be doing that also. So Again, the questions is the only thing that is remaining, so we will do that and finish that. Okay, Siraj?
Okay.
All right, perfect. Fine, then I'll see you in the next class. Till the time, you can enjoy and take care. I'll send you the notes and homework so you can just check it on the mail. Okay.
Okay. Thank
Bye.
you.
Take care.
Bye bye.